Hey guys, SharkyHat here. This was going to be some, high quality, high effort, edited review going over, the last 9 chapters of Evil West that we don't have on video. If you look at episodes 1 through 4, I think we get up to chapter 7. And then I was going to do the remaining chapters as this long-winded, 15-page script, highly edited review video, despite the fact that I have no experience editing those kind of videos. And I got 10 minutes into that video after like 3 days of work. So that video is not going to happen. The little opening that you saw at the start of this video, though, is the intro to that video that's not going to happen, that I'm particularly proud of. So I wanted to use it for, this video. That video was going to go through, like, the plot summary and all that, but I guess I can sum it down to it's exactly what you'd expect it to be. Felicity is the final boss, your dad's infected, your dad's one of the 4 bosses of the game, and that's pretty much it. Some of the stuff that I wanted to touch on, though, just kind of get my thoughts about it before I move on to new things. You see these? These are USB to Ethernet connectors, because my computer's here, but my PS2 is on the other side of the room. And I need these to, reach the capture card. Because I'm going to start doing some old retro games on this channel. And kind of practice that previously mentioned style of video over time. I just wasn't going to spend my whole vacation editing up this Evil West video because it wouldn't have been done over this vacation. It would have taken me into the new year and a few more weeks, so we're not going to do that. Because I also did it kind of wrong. I had no timestamps, I had no clips, I just had hours of raw footage. I couldn't find anything. So I have a better mindset, going into it next time. But Evil West as a game is fine. It's perfectly passable. It's a very simple, traverse the level, get through the arena for 16 missions. And technically, a few of those missions shouldn't even need to be there. They don't really progress the plot at all. The oil field level in particular doesn't do anything to legitimately progress the plot. It's just a level for the sake of showing off level design, which is great in this game. The level design is pretty great, but that's pretty much it. You're not going to get anything like really in depth. You're not going to get some, Scorsese style story or anything like that. It's a very simple hunt down the vampire storyline, which in itself is pretty great. The story, though, on that topic, does need some work. The story was actually probably the weakest point of this game for me because of how simple it is, but also a lot of aspects in that story don't go anywhere. The level that we ended on, you get the blood from this thing called the Micanac, which is this, deity creature in the mythology.
That's a Micanac. In Huron Indian folklore, it's some kind of minor deity.
They say that it's how she makes her vampires, Felicity, how she makes her vampires. They don't explain how, or in which way. The blood doesn't do anything the rest of the game. Harrow, Assistant Secretary of War Harrow, is an asshole. There's a level where we're just trying to get him some documents because he wants to make a profit, and it doesn't actually progress the story at all. And I was thinking, oh, this guy's going to be like a double agent or something. He's actively working against us. No, he's just an asshole. There's no plot twist or anything on his side of things. It's definitely something that could have been built on, but it's a double A game. We're not really going to expect the world of this. We're just going to expect a solid game. And they lore dump a lot of stuff onto you, the Micanac and how it makes vampires is never explained, but they do indicate like, oh, this is a deity from mythology, and there's temples in the wilderness, and it's like all this stuff in the world that never gets explained. The people that Peter Diabano was also talking to at the beginning, Dominic Calvet, I think was his name, they don't show up at all. There's no post-credit stinger. There's no, sequel bait or anything. So it's like, who are these vampires that don't want, anything to do with this war? Like, what are they doing? there's just a lot that they could have probably hinted at. I don't think they wanted to sequel bait people. They don't know how this game would have been received. But there's just a lot of aspects in the story that are just kind of left there. And the overall plot is just, you know, the Rentier Institute versus Felicity. So yeah, overall, if you can get past the kind of slapdashed story that they put together, and a game that may be a mission or two longer than it needs to be, I would recommend picking this up, especially at $40. It's not a bad price tag. If you can get it on sale, it's definitely probably well worth it to get it on sale and save yourself a few bucks. It feels like I mentioned in the first episode, it feels like a PS2 game in terms of the idea and the gameplay loop. And I think this game might have come out a generation too late, you know, and by generation too late, I'm still on PS4. I don't care about the PS5 at all. So if this was like a PS2 or a PS3 game, I think it probably would have had time to build, you know, on itself and be like, oh, look, here's something new. I'm not saying that they can't do that with a sequel if we do get a sequel to this game. I would recommend that they put a different writer onto it, or at least give the writer some more time to make it coherent. But yeah, I mean, a simple game, arena battler, you know, it's like God of War Doom combo. Levels kind of linear, but there is some exploration to them, so that's always good. I'm not going to go in real detail about the weapon upgrades or the perks or anything, but I don't think, you know, I'm going to take that back. I think that putting some of them into chests to be discovered is a very old school way of doing things and rewarding players. So I like that aspect of it. And I know it has a multiplayer aspect. I didn't play it, so I can't speak for that. But yeah. So like I said, this was going to be a 40-minute long chapter by chapter summary of this game. And I just can't bring myself to put that kind of energy into it, especially working kind of underneath this mountain of stuff that I put myself through in it. Since starting, I have watched a lot of videos kind of recommending what to do. And it's like, you know, a notepad with timestamps, clipping stuff instead of trying to just get raw footage and all this other stuff. So I feel like I've done a good job of learning what not to do when it comes to these big review episodes. And I guess we'll see how the next video goes. Because like I said, I put in 3 days of work and got 10 minutes because I was sorting through footage and trying to remember where I put everything. And it was like a 15-page script, and I was trying to do voiceover, you know, over a few days because there's just so many like words to it. Let's just say that for a first review video, I kind of stacked myself a little high on the workload there. But yeah, so I think we're gonna kind of bring the scale down a little bit and kind of focus on some stuff when it comes to these games instead of trying to create these like big summary videos like I had the intention of doing. But I just want to get on to another game. I want to put Evil West behind me, which is why I'm making this little like summarizing review video about my thoughts about it. I know it was kind of disappointing after, you know, 3 weeks since my announcement video saying that I'm going to start putting out, you know, slower paced, more effort content. It just took this game being the one that I did everything in the pre-production of it completely wrong. So we at least have that mindset now that we can kind of fix things going forward and make it a little more organized. I liked Evil West. Maybe a tad long for me. Story wasn't as great as it could be. It wasn't as, you know, coherent as it could be in places, but I enjoyed the game. I went back and I did some of the old missions. I found some of the stuff that I missed. I upgraded stuff like the crossbow and the rifle to, you know, full quality, and they were pretty fun weapons to use. It's just there's a lot of combat options and a lot of weapon options, and it makes for really interesting, you know, mix-ups in the gameplay. But that gameplay is just kind of the same thing. It's traverse arena, and every few missions boss fight. So if you like those kind of games, if you just want something that you can play, you know, at your own leisure, I'd recommend picking it up. Probably not the $40 price tag, but if you can get it on sale, that would probably be good enough. And yeah, I guess we're going to see what we have for the next video. Right now, I'm just kind of waiting for a PS2 to HDMI adapter to come in before I, jerry rig all of this to my computer and my capture card and hope that it works. I don't even know if this is going to work. So here's the hoping. And if it does work, then I think you all are going to be pretty excited about the first game we're going to talk about. It's a PS2 game, and it's one that I think a lot of people forgot about. And it's disappointing because it's a survival horror game that brings a unique mechanic to itself, and something that I would like to see, brought back. Or as my friend Victor, who you guys might know as that guy Dom, brought to me, this is just Among Us. And I'm like, I hate that he says it like that, but I appreciate it. So probably how videos are going to go in the future, it's going to be probably stuff like this, me talking to you all on camera with kind of interspliced gameplay or something like that to accent a point that I'm talking about. And yeah, it's just, I think this is the easiest kind of content for me to make, especially with the very little time I have now due to, work and everything. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of Evil West short summary. I hope you enjoyed the little opening there I made. I wish I could have shown you guys, why am I saying masterpiece? I'm such a fucking egomaniac. I wish I could have shown you guys the work of a 40-minute video, but I just don't have that in me to put together, especially with how the resources are unsorted or undocumented. It would have been fun to do it. Hopefully we can do it in the next video, but this is what it is. I mentioned even also like review style videos like this are new to me. So of course I'm going to, fuck up royally on the first one, but hopefully, we can move forward and make content like this where, I can just kind of talk about games that I love and games that I've missed playing, growing up, or games that I never got the chance to play growing up. I've got a little list of PS2 and PS1 games on a Google document somewhere that I've been trying to piece together. And, yeah, so I'm just going to start making videos about the games that I want to play and the games that I love to play. And with this, we can shove Evil West into the coffin, so to speak, and get on with the new chapter. So thank you all for watching. I'm SharkyHat, and I'll see you guys next time.